Hey, what's up, beautiful people? And today's conversation, I want to talk to you about regrets, right? That's one thing we all have in common. We all have regrets. We all have this one thing or these few things that we have done, that we have said, situations we have been in, behaviors and attitudes we've had towards people or ourselves. And as we mature, and we look back on these things, and sometimes we feel, I wish I hadn't have done that. I wish that would have never happened. I wish I could take it all back. I wish I could change it. And of course, some regrets are deeper than others. Some regrets is just something you said or something you done. Some regrets runs a little bit deeper. Something you didn't say, something you didn't do, something you didn't, something you took for granted, right? These are some of the common regrets that cuts us the deepest. Relationships that we had let slip through our fingers because of arrogance or just not being mature enough to understand what the needs were. Now, that being said, I also want you to understand that as much as it hurts, as much as it's a burden, as much as it does challenge you emotionally and psychologically, as much as you feel as if that time in your life is still such a dark space for you and still carries such emotional weight for you. I also want you to understand that you can't blame yourself. You can't beat yourself up for things you just weren't ready to understand, things you just weren't in a position to understand, right? We're all growing. We're all experiencing things in real time. And sometimes we don't have enough time to process what we are experiencing and to make an informed decision on complex situations. And sometimes complex situations can be a loving relationship. If you haven't had a number of long-term, loving, committed relationships, it means you don't have the emotional or psychological arsenal, equipment, toolbox to deal with some of the complexities that comes with being in loving, long-term, committed relationships. You don't have the required tools to be able to take a snapshot of a moment and say, hey, I could do this, but I won't. This is the best option. I should say this, but I won't. This is the best option. Maybe I should have said this. Let's take a pause right here. You've been saying this 5, 6, 7 times. I wasn't paying attention. It wasn't connecting. And now you've reached the end of your tether. And now you want to go. And now I am left thinking, what went wrong? Thinking back, oh, I realized you've been saying this the whole time. You've been doing this the whole time, but I didn't realize. You understand? Or maybe you've been in a relationship where you've been taken for granted and you continually let them back in your life. You've continually forgave them. You stayed loyal, right? You continue to believe that things will change, things will get better. And at the end of it, you feel silly. You feel like you've been played. You feel like you've been made a fool. You feel like you've been taken for granted. And you beat yourself up. You hate yourself for having someone put you in that position and for them making you feel this way. But here's what I'm saying. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And we can't overcome what we don't understand. And sometimes the only way to be able to overcome these things and to know what is missing is by going through it. They say pain is the greatest teacher, right? It's the greatest teacher. And it always arrives at the worst times, right? Things get bad when shit is already bad. right? So that's just how it goes. So what I'm really trying to say to you, ladies and gents, if you are beating yourself up over something that has happened in the past that you did not know how to handle at that time, that you did not have the complex capacity to deal with that situation, to deal with that person, to deal with that moment, to deal with yourself if it's something that you're doing that you're not realizing. I'm not here to say that it's fine. I'm not here to say forget about it. I'm not here to say don't have regrets. I'm here to say let it pass. Doesn't matter what it is. Number one, there's nothing we can do to change it. And continuing to beat ourselves up doesn't make the situation any better. You're just making a bad situation worse because you're continuing to live and relive that bad situation because you continue to beat yourself up. The best thing you can do is acknowledge, accept, and continue to move forward. Better yourself because of that situation. Better yourself because of that circumstance. Better yourself because of that experience. And in the end, life is about experiences. And we're all going to go through a varied amount of experiences at different levels of pain. That's going to require various levels of resistance and resilience as we go through these life experiences. Like I said, some are better than others. Some are worse than others. But it's one of those things. It really is one of those things. You know, that's just a part of what we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis while we are alive. And who knows what happens after that. So, acknowledge, accept, and grow from it. I'll see you guys in the next video.